Today we are walking along Staingate Road in Northumbria to visit Vindolanda Roman Fort and town that predates the building of Hadrian's Wall. Before Hadrian's Wall was built, the Vindolanda Fort controlled a central zone of the frontier. We are passing a number of temples, workshops, and wells. The town and fort were supplied with water from a number of aqueducts. The Roman settlement at Vindolanda was established between AD 74 to AD 85. The Romans first established a conquest fort here some time after the Roman invasion, which was ordered by Emperor Claudius. At its peak, Vindolanda had a population of up to 4,000 people, of which 1,000 were military. Vindolanda is a working archaeological site. New finds and discoveries continue to be found. The bathhouse was a key part of Roman life. The baths were where the Romans would go to meet, socialize, gamble, and exercise. Bathers could take part in athletic games in the changing room. They would then pass through a series of rooms at the baths, starting with a cold room. Next they would go into the warm and then hot rooms, where they would sweat profusely. This is where they would clean their skin with oil and a strigil. Bathers would then go back through the rooms in reverse order, before finally taking a plunge in a cold pool. This was the only public toilet at Vindolanda. Going to the toilet in Roman times was a communal experience. This is a superb replica of a Milecastle and section of Hadrian's Wall that was built in the 1970s. Vindolanda became an important base during the construction of Hadrian's Wall. This replica wooden Milecastle and recreation of part of the wall shows you what the western section of Hadrian's Wall would have looked like. This part of the wall ran from Bardon to the coast. The Vindolanda Fort served the various different phases of the occupation: conquest, frontier fort, construction base, and a garrison for the wall. The fort here was in operation until the end of the Roman occupation in AD 410. The stone fort that you can see today was built in AD 213. The early forts were made from wood, and they would have been twice the size of this stone fort. The Vindolanda Fort is built to a standard design used by the Roman army. The layout of the exterior walls resemble the shape of a playing card. The fort wall had 4 gateways, with gatehouses at the north and west gates. Once the wall was built, Vindolanda became part of the wall garrison. It is located 1 mile behind the wall and the nearest fort at House Steads. The granary was used to store supplies for the fort's garrison. This would usually consist of grain and other perishable foodstuffs. This is a reconstruction of a Roman granary that can be seen at the Roman Fort at Badgington. The granary floor was raised on pillars to protect the stored food from the damp and vermin. The fort's headquarters building is typically located at the center of the fort. Some of the front rooms of the Principia were turned into storerooms. At one end of the courtyard there was a number of administrative offices, a strong room and a shrine. The legion's pay chest was stored in the strong room. The Aedes was where the unit's standards were kept. The tribunal was where the officer issued orders of the day to the soldiers at the fort. The paved courtyard was surrounded on 3 sides by a colonnade. This well would have provided water for religious ceremonies. The Romans introduced a number of things to Britain, including brown hares and rabbits. The Praetorium provided the prefect with the standard of living of a Mediterranean city home. The prefect would have lived here with his wife, children, staff, and slaves. To the east are the Praetorian Baths. A stoke hole for the bathhouse furnace was part of the hypercore's central heating system. The baths consist of a number of rooms including cold, hot and steam rooms. A number of the rooms had Roman central heating. These pillars would have supported the room's floor and allowed hot air to circulate beneath it. barracks housed a mixture of infantry and cavalry troops. The auxiliary troops lived, ate, and slept in these rooms. This barrack housed a cavalry unit of about 30 men, called a turma. Each room had a stable at the front and was shared by 3 men and their horses. The officers' more spacious accommodation was located at the end of each block. This temple worshipped an Eastern god who originated from modern-day Turkey, Jupiter Dolichenes. The roundhouses predate the stone fort and were built during the period of Emperor Severus' invasion of the north. After the Romans left, the Britons continued to live in the fortified settlement for a further 400 years until it was abandoned. The award-winning museums houses a large collection that includes shoes, textiles, wooden objects, and finds from everyday life at the fort, including the impressive Vindolanda Tablets. Over 6,000 Roman shoes have been discovered at Vindolanda, superbly preserved in the waterlogged soil.